So, I can't really fathom paying $60 to be part of a group that not only is not really putting on a lot of events for local members, but then their stuff is like legitimately not going on as far as big rallies, big events. I mean, the board of directors, what are they actually doing? Because I haven't seen much, except for maybe when they put on a Fiat freakout. And again, how hard is it to put on a Fiat freakout when it's in your backyard? I mean, you pretty much got a personal roadmap of everything, and you don't have to do much research when it comes down to it. So to me, it just doesn't make any sense to spend the kind of money that they want us to spend, which again, if it wasn't for Robert Zecca, paying our way in, we probably wouldn't have been in Fiat Club of America in the first place. I mean, Mama Mouse has really developed a complete and utter bad taste in her mouth for it. So have I, ever since, Fiat and the Dragon. Because the thing is that, me and Mama Mouse will make our own private trip to Fiat and the Dragon, and we enjoy it just as much, just me and her by ourselves. What's this having to go and do this with, the whole group, when the whole group, is pretty distant from each other as it is? I mean, there's really this kind of like, you go to church, you shake hands, and you kind of don't like who you're shaking hands with, even though you all have something in common. And that's kind of been how it's gone with the car clubs. You would figure that everybody has this one thing in common, and there would be a whole lot of camaraderie, there'd be a whole lot of discussion about, hey, what do you want to do with your car? What do you want to do with your car? What services do you offer, so that way I can support you on your journey, and so on and so forth. It's always a win-win when it comes down to organization. When you got people who have the same interest and want to share those interests amongst each other. Take your time. So once again, we're probably not going to be doing a lot of Fiat Club of America sanctioned events. They are having an election, and a lot of people are saying, well, things are going to change because there's going to be a new president, there's going to be new board of directors, there's going to be younger people. But for some reason, I honestly think that you're not really going to have a lot of change, because the people who are running the club are not car enthusiasts. They like cars, but their lives revolve more around what they do for a lifestyle. The car that they have, they just so happen to have something in common with other people who have that same particular car. So what you have is, let me put it this way. Would you go to a jeweler for heart surgery? That's pretty much, what I'm talking about. Would you have somebody sew up your heart when they work with jewelry all day long? It doesn't make any sense. So why would you have somebody who doesn't do anything with cars run a car club? I mean, we're in the age of social media, and being able to reach out to just about anybody at any given time, any given moment. And does anybody do that? Not from what I've seen. So as far as I know, what's the point? You don't have anybody who's actually on the board of directors or the president or anybody who's up top actually putting up any kind of effort to get in touch with people and see what they want. It makes zero sense, because all you're doing is sitting back and collecting some revenue, and maybe every once in a while putting up a Fiat Freakout or a Fiat on the Dragon, which, don't get me wrong, a lot of that stuff does take a lot of work, but you're getting paid for that work. And with the kind of members they have, as many members as they have, you're getting a pretty penny for that work. So, to me, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever the way FCA's been running and the way they're running it. It's just a silly ordeal when you consider that people who have all this potential to take a small club and make it into something that's not only respectable and well represented, but to bring it up to the level of where people, look at it and they're like, oh, you know what, this is as high profile or as important as any Ferrari, any Lamborghini, any car that's in that upper echelon of, Italian automakes. I mean, when you consider that Fiat practically owned Ferrari for quite a long time, most of the Ferraris that came off the line were in fact Fiats, so it's just, when you dig down as a car enthusiast and know what it is you're driving, you kind of look at it and say, yeah, I spent maybe $22,000 on this car, but this car has a heritage and a pedigree that a lot of cars in the same class for the same money just simply don't have. Plus obviously this car's a lot of fun.